Hey everybody, welcome back to this section of Ribs and Realty. It's going to be me and Donnie Marrow with the EXP team. He has a huge team in Memphis, probably about 20 to 30 agents that he trains and is over every day. He is going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and get the ribs smoked today, and tomorrow we're going to make some bacon potato salad and some homemade coleslaw to go with it, and eat some food and have a good time and talk about some real estate. So the first thing I got right here, I got a full rack of baby back ribs. I choose to use baby back ribs. You can use whatever kind you want. I make my own dry rub, but I do kind of pick off what everybody else has. So this is a little bit of Sweet Preacher Fire and Smoke. This is some Corky's. Rendezvous has a dry seasoning, which is really good as well. So I did about a half a cup of each of those. I did another quarter cup of Montreal steak seasoning, which I get this from Sam's. Quarter cup of seasonal, get that from Sam's. Another half a cup of brown sugar, and about 2 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt. Okay, so those are the ingredients that I have into this mixture right here, which is in my bowl. Just gonna do a quick mix real quick. And we're going to pat these ribs down, and we're going to get them in the smoker. They're going to smoke for about 4 to 5 hours until fork tender, and then we're going to pull them out. So as far as the temperature on your smoker, around 250 to 225 for 4 to 5 hours. Okay, so we're going to throw this into our sheet pan, season them up really well. And real quick, we'll be right back. I'll show you when they're seasoned and when we're throwing them in the smoker. See y'all in a minute. All right, everybody, so the ribs are all seasoned. And the other thing too, on the back side of your ribs, there is a very thin membrane that you have to pull off, okay? So that if you don't, they're not gonna wanna come apart when you want to actually cut them and eat them as individual ribs. But they're all seasoned, ready to go. Smoker's ready to go. I got a four hour timer, and it's at 260. We're gonna throw these things in, and I'm gonna check them in about 4 hours. All right, good morning, everybody. It's the next day. The ribs have smoked for about 5 hours on a 250. Look how beautiful those are. I've actually drained the drippings. We're gonna take the drippings and we're gonna mix it with some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce to kind of make our own barbecue sauce. Also over here on the stove, I have my potatoes cooking for my bacon potato salad. I got my bacon in the oven, cooking off and getting brown, so we can chop that up to go into the bacon potato salad as well. And then we're gonna go over here and I'm gonna show you how to make this sauce really quick. So also on these here in just a little bit, after we make our sauce, I'm gonna throw these on the grill and baste them. Everybody's different. I like wet ribs. Some people like dry ribs. So even if you want dry ribs, you can take the seasoning. I got leftover seasoning still, and just get a nice char on these ribs, which gives them more flavor. So that's what we're gonna do here in a little bit with these. We're gonna go throw the grill on. We're gonna throw these on the grill and baste them and get them nice and wet and caramelized from the grill. So we're gonna go over here and I'm gonna show you how to make this barbecue sauce. All right, everybody, we got the potatoes over here boiling. You just want them to fork tender. You don't want them too cooked and overcooked, because again, you want nice firmness on your potatoes for a potato salad. I got my bacon in the oven, getting nice and crispy. While all that's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and start this barbecue sauce and let it cook. So I have right here is 1 cup of drippings from the ribs from last night. We're going to throw that into our pot. And then I'm going to do 1 cup each of Sweet Baby Ray's Sweet and Spicy and Sweet Baby Ray's Honey Barbecue. You can use whatever you want. These are just 2 that I prefer. So this is a quick way to just make a barbecue sauce and kind of make it your own, where you're not just using what's bought off the shelf. Then I also still have some of my dry rub seasoning that I made from yesterday. We're going to take about a tablespoon or 2 and put that in here as well. And the 1 cup of honey barbecue. And then we're just going to let this come up to a boil and simmer for about 15-20 minutes, just till the flavors come together, and you'll have your own barbecue sauce. All right, we'll see y'all here in just a minute. Hey everybody, we're here with Mr. Donnie Marrow with EXP. He actually is part of the Marrow team, correct?
Marrow Group.
The Marrow Group. Make sure I'm saying it right. The Marrow Group, and you have how many agents underneath you?
Not underneath me. I partner with about 42 agents on my team, and then we have the local brokers, about 60 agents in the brokerage.
Okay. And you also, I know you also do a class called Future Masterminds.
Future Real Estate Mastermind, there's a Facebook page for it. We do Mastermind every Tuesday at 10 a.m., open to all real estate agents, and we had a pretty good turnout. I think we had about 30 in there last week, so that's exciting. Also, typically have 3 to 5 national real estate coaches in there, and pretty much anything is fair game. We just want to help people with their businesses.
So, I mean, a lot of times I think people get a misconception of us as real estate agents and as realtors that, it is dog eat, dog out there, that, we're trying to fight off the competition, and that, we're not in this together, and that is the absolute opposite of what really happens. In fact, I tell my agents, my new agents that come in, just as important as your client relationship is the relationships with other agents. I have literally been able to get contracts for my clients that we've gone into multiple offers, and it came down to exact same offers and which agent would you rather work with? And guess what? They chose me, and they chose our offer because we had a relationship already there. So that misconception of, and I can't even tell you how many times that I get new agents that call me, or I talk to new agents, and I will just throw information at them. And they're like, wow, you're not even my broke. Why are you doing this? Because I want you to be successful. Not only that, but when we work a deal together, I want you to have the knowledge that I have, so it is an easy, smooth transaction. Because in the end, what's the goal?
Get it to closing.
Get it to closing. That's the goal. That is the goal for all of us, for our clients, for our sellers, for our buyers. That is the end goal. So I know you had some statistics that you wanted to talk about as far as going into January and February, kind of like what the market is looking like, especially in Memphis. And I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and kind of get those.
Yeah, so we're kind of interesting time. Obviously, everybody I think knows that the market has been shifting. I'm a numbers guy. I watch a lot of numbers because we have a lot of expenses. We want to know which way to lead our agents. We want to know if there needs to be adjustments in scripting. If the market shifts, comes business shifts as well, right?
Absolutely.
So what we found in the Memphis MLS in December, sales were down, closings about 34% from December the year before. In January, sales in the Memphis MLS were down about 41% from the year before. However, it seems like some of the uncertainty is going away. The reason why buyers quit buying homes, interest rates really aren't that high, to be honest with you. They're a little higher than what they've been the last 10 years, but they're really not overly high. I heard some people locked in last week at 5.49%, which is awesome, but I feel like what affected the market a lot is uncertainty.
Media uncertainty helps a lot with that. It's the media out there scaring people to think that there's going to be a crash. How many times have we heard, oh, there's going to be a crash. Oh, there's going to be a crash. And us as realtors have the inside scoop on that.
That's right.
That we see like the lack of inventory. We know what's out there, and we know the amount of people that need houses that before couldn't get them because they were going into multiple offers every single time.
And competing with 30 people, or they didn't have that much cash to go above appraisal, or whatever the case might be. And with the market changing now, well, I know for my team, we put about 8 houses under contract just the last 3 days, and I know that we are set up as of right now to have about a 40% increase for February. So it tells me that we're kind of getting over some of that uncertainty and people are starting to get back into the market. Interest rates have settled down.
Yes.
And the great news about it is there's still only about 2.5 months of inventory in the market. So
Right.
if you're a seller, your value isn't going down.
No,
Because
it's
there's not enough inventory. It's all supply and demand. There's not enough supply for your value to go
Underneath the
down.
demand, exactly.
But if you are a buyer, now you can actually get in for a reasonable price without having to guess at it. You can actually look at the market value of the home instead of having to just say, well, I'm just going to pay crazy because it's not about the value of the house. It's about how bad, who wants it the worst.
Right.
Right. And that's not the market
Right.
we need to be in. So we're in a much more neutral, a much more normal
It's a
market.
stable market.
Market that really is good for both sides.
And balanced market.
Yes.
I think so. Like you hit on great points that in the last 2 years, across the board nationwide, sellers have probably gotten 30 to 40% equity in their homes in the last 2 years. That 30 and 40% doesn't fall overnight, y'all. It takes time. The only reason that it went up so fast is because of COVID. COVID really drove the market because it drove up lumber prices. It drove up the price of new construction.
New construction's a nightmare.
Yeah, it drove up the price of new construction. So when the price of new construction went through the roof, guess what? Everything else went up along the way. And then you had, like you said, we had buyers paying $15,000, $20,000 above appraised value out of pocket. And it was just, I know there was agents that were having their buyers give up home inspections, contingencies, appraisal contingencies. I mean, just craziness that in a normal market that you should not be doing. Those contingencies are in there to help you, to protect you. They're not there just to write out.
Absolutely.
You know, and I told my people, I never wrote out, not one time did I ever write out a home inspection contingency.
Right, we were the same way. We still kept our home inspections in there. We may have had a couple of investors who knew they were investing a lot in the home anyway. Right. That may have waived some inspections because they knew they were going to go in and spend $50,000 fixing it up regardless. So in that case, possibly. But for a homeowner that wasn't going to do massive amounts of work either, we always kept our home inspections in as well.
I mean, we put in the contract that it was appraisal required repairs only. Like we're not going to ask for home inspection repairs, but it still gives that buyer the out that if something came up that was going to be a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 price tag, they weren't stuck in a home and losing their earnest money.
And that's really what it should be anyway. Too many people think that the home inspection is like, oh, I don't like the color of the paint. No, the contract clearly states it's not for cosmetic issues. It's not for normal wear and tear. And I think agents and the general public get very carried away with that anyway. Truthfully, you have your home inspection. If there's something major, you should be protected. You should be able to walk away or ask the buyer or the seller to repair it before you buy it. But if it's not major, then really the home inspection, the repair part can be waived anyway because the goal was not to make it a brand new house for you to begin with. So I think there's a lot of
even brand new homes are never perfect.
I know all about that. So,
I mean, everybody thinks that you're going to get a new house and it's going to be perfect, and that never happens.
No such thing as a perfect house.
No such thing as a perfect home. No. And just to kind of hit on what I've seen in the market as far as in Mississippi, my phone is ringing. I have 3 under contract. Two listings, another listing that is in Lewisburg that I'm having a tough time for because it's overpriced and it needs some work. But in general, I am seeing a whole lot less multiple offers. Sellers are even offering usually. So this is the other thing too, y'all. You have to understand if you're going to get buy down points for your loan, that there's only a certain percentage that loan will allow you to have for the seller contributions, and in most cases it's 3 to 4%. So everybody thinks that they can get that $10,000 that a lot of people are offering, the builders are offering, but you may not be able to use all that for your buy down points. But you can also take what's left over and take it off the price of the house. If they're offering $10,000, we're going to use that $10,000 in that transaction some way, shape, or form. So that's what I'm seeing too. I'm sure you're probably seeing.
Definitely seeing seller concessions coming back.
Yes.
And man, the thing you hit on there, pricing. So what we're seeing as one of the largest listing teams in the city is for a couple of years ago, new agents could get in the business, and to put it politely, they could be weak maybe or inexperienced and maybe overprice a house because they just weren't there yet on where pricing needed to be, because experience matters.
Right.
And they would still sell. They would still get lucky and get multiple offers, and they think, man, I'm really good at this. I'm awesome. The market was kind of helping them out a little bit. So what we're seeing, we are seeing price reductions. What I want the public to know, price reduction doesn't mean that the value of the home went down.
No.
It simply means they were asking too high of a price and ruling themselves out to begin with. It's super important that you price appropriately, because your goal is for buyers to rule you in as a house they want to go look at, not to have your price so high that they rule you out and you never even get a chance to show it to them. A lot of sellers don't understand you don't get more money just because you ask for more money. If I come to you, Adam, and say, hey, I know my house is worth $500, but I want you to give me $550 just because I'm a nice guy, you're like, no, I don't think so, buddy.
That's right.
I'm going to give you market value, which is $500. I'm not giving you an extra $50K just because you feel like you should.
Well,
that's what we're seeing.
To me, they also get misinformation from other neighbors. This I get a lot.
Yes.
This I get a lot. Like my Joe Blow from down the street told me they got $580,000 for their house, and I go, really? And I go look it up on the MLS, and I said, well, it's sold for $495.
Yes.
So again, taking that, don't just listen to. I get this a lot. People that want to go buy a house, you want to get your friends and family and neighbors involved. Don't do that. And I'm saying that with the kindest, most sincere way possible, because there are a lot of haters out there. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. Make sure that the information that you are provided and that you are going by is truthful, up to date, and is actually factual information that you're being given, and not just going by the ear or whatever somebody's telling you.
Absolutely. Nothing tells us what a house will sell for better than comparable sold houses in that neighborhood, right? No matter what anybody says. And I've run into that as well. Neighbors are kind of like, well, I got my price. Well, it was listed for $450. They got $425. $425 was their price that they really had to be at. And they don't want to tell you they went down $25,000. Maybe there's a little bit of embarrassment there, or emotion, or whatever. We're a very emotional country. So a lot of times people say things like, well, I got my price. Well, you, looking on Zillow or whatever their website is, saw that it was listed for $450. You're like, oh, they sold it for $450. No, they sold it for $425, but they got their price. So you have to be careful about how you interpret that information as well.
And I've actually lost listings too, because I'm going to go and I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to run comps. I'm going to do my comparable search. And I'm going to tell you, this is realistically, this is what you're going to get for your home. And I have been denied that listing because that seller had a much bigger number in mind than what I was telling them. And it is not my job to sugarcoat things. I tell my sellers, I tell all my clients this: you may not like what I have to say. You may not want to hear what I have to say, but it's going to be truthful and it's going to be factual, because that's my job. Okay, my job is to provide you with the best service possible and facts possible to help you sell your home or help you buy a home. Though that's my job. I am the shepherd through this process. So and a lot of times people don't want to listen to us, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong. I would rather not get a listing than sit there and it sit for 8 months and then my name is put through the mud of, I couldn't sell this house. Why couldn't you sell this house? And it wasn't necessarily my fault. So again, agents and sellers, we want to get you the most money possible, because our commission is based on whatever your house sells for. So I promise you, we're not trying to lowball you, because the more we can get, the more we make. So that's just an honest to God truth. So is there anything else we want to touch into before we get into making some food?
Well, number one, congratulations. Every good realtor that's done any volume at all has lost a listing for being honest to somebody. Right. So you're perfectly normal for a good realtor. Other than that, man, I always tell all my clients, move when it's right for your family.
That's right.
You can try to time the market until you lose thousands of dollars. I've seen people do it. I've seen people say, oh, the market's so high, I'm going to wait. And then 2 years later, they had spent $30,000 on rent, plus paid another $20,000 for a house, and they lost $50,000 by trying to time the market the last couple years. Mm-hmm. that can happen now too. You don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. If your family needs to move now to meet a goal, almost every time people are much happier 6 months from now that they put their family where they wanted to be, regardless of what the market does. The only way you'll be disappointed in the market is if you have to sell when it happens to go down. Other than that, you'll always be happier where you are than you are at the time in the market. It's always great to get a good deal. We all want to get a deal, and I want all the clients to make money. But my advice is, if it's right for your family, do what's right for your family. The truth is, just don't sell when the market is down. It's going to come back, and you're going to come out ahead.
Well, and people look, so the real estate market is like the stock market. It goes like this,
That's
right?
That's right.
But overall, if you look at it at a 10 or 20 year, it's always going this way.
Absolutely.
So don't look at the 2 or 3 year dips that you're going to see that things are going to go down. And then, like you said on the good deal, I always tell my clients, if it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Right.
And that goes with life in general.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is such a wonderful thing, flowers and daisies, and the little cartoon things are popping off in your head, then it's usually probably too good to be true. And once you dig into it, you'll see that.
Absolutely. Man.
So, and then just more money that you're going to have to put into fixing the house up.
That's right.
All right, man. So you've been helping me cook today. We've already smoked some ribs.
I've done a heck of a good
He has
job.
been here for 4 or 5 hours, y'all, smoking ribs with me. Can y'all believe that?
They
He was
look
here last
amazing.
night, actually helping me put these ribs on. So we've already made our homemade barbecue sauce, which again, this was just Sweet Baby Ray's. I had 2 different kinds, and then I used the drippings from the ribs in here. It was about a cup worth of drippings, and some of my dry seasoning to make our own barbecue sauce.
Looks awesome.
We're going to take these ribs out to the grill, baste them, get a nice caramelization on them. And do you like dry or wet ribs?
Man, I'll both.
Like both?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people are dry people, some people are wet. So we're going to go out there, we're going to slap them with some barbecue sauce, get some caramelization going, and we're going to have some nice, beautiful ribs. Before we get to that, let's go ahead and make our potato salad. So I got chopped bacon here, already ready to go. You want to add that to the potatoes?
That's our next ingredient. I'm just following his lead. You are the man, so I'm going to let you.
I have 2 celeries just sliced up, and I did a quick fry in some bacon fat, and salt and pepper, just to add more flavor. Celery doesn't have a lot of flavor.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make a vegetable better, you just cook it in bacon.
Absolutely. You want anything better, we cook it in bacon fat.
Hello.
We don't throw bacon fat away in my household. So about a teaspoon of salt and about a teaspoon of black pepper. Very simple recipe. And then we're going to add about a half a cup to a cup of mayonnaise to this. Oop, there goes the lid. So 1, 2. Would you give that a stir for me?
Yes, sir.
Just kind of fold it on top of each other.
Y'all can tell I've been married for 26 years, and my amazing wife does the cooking.
Well, we're going to get you cooking today.
I spend all my time selling real estate, man.
I try to spend all my time, but I love to cook. This is my niche. This is my away time. This is what I love to do. I love selling real estate, don't get me wrong, but you know how much the stress that comes with it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So to sit here and have a time with my family and just cook a good meal, it's kind of like, it's the way to go. So with anything, we got to taste it. We grab there's a fork right there. Let's get a taste. You taste it. You mix it.
You don't want to taste it?
No, I want you to taste it. Let you taste it. Tell me what you think.
Let's see how it is.
Any more salt, pepper, anything?
No, I think it's great.
Okay. All right, so we got this ready to go. We're going to let this marinate and just let it sit while we're over there doing the ribs. While that's going, let's do our coleslaw too. Okay.
All right.
So this is really good.
That bacon really sets that off. The
Right?
bacon flavor is what does it, man.
And
for sure.
like with any potato salad, it doesn't have to be a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
If you just put love and salt and season things very well, a simple potato salad is the best and easiest way to go. All right, so This is a chipotle mayo. You can actually buy it at the grocery store. They have different kinds. They have a garlic mayo. They have, so this is an easy way to add flavor without having to make your own stuff.
Sure.
So for different, whatever you want to do it for, okay? So we're going to add a little of this. It's got a little kick to it, so I'm not going to put too much. And then I'm going to do about another half a cup of mayo. And then just to add a little kick, we're going to do a half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, which I don't know if you know this. I know you're kind of a workout person. Apple cider vinegar actually helps a lot with cutting fat, burning fat. It's actually kind of a major health food.
Absolutely. A lot of people are big on those fermented foods, man. Anything that's fermented like that.
Acid burns a lot of fat. People don't know that. Again, a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of my dry rub seasoning. Get it in a mix. Yeah, you can smell that. Smell that? Smell that vinegar in there?
You can smell it a little bit, can't you?
Mm-hmm. So all that's going to do is just add a little bit of a bite and kind of take away from the all. Yeah, we got two mayonnaise-based things, so I'm trying to kind of take away from that a little bit. All right, so we're about to go out to the grill. We're going to grill up some ribs, and then we're going to eat. All right, y'all. We out here grilling on a beautiful day in January, and it's 60 degrees outside.
Isn't it awesome?
So we can actually do ribs.
It's beautiful.
All right, buddy.
All right, you want me to baste them up, right?
That's right.
All right, I'm following your lead, so you tell me how much you want or what you want me to do. You're the recipe man.
Baste them good.
Baste them up.
I like a lot of sauce on mine.
You load them up, huh?
Mm-hmm. Plus it helps caramelize them when you cook them. Because all that brown sugar and stuff in the sauce.
It's definitely a lot better when you put it in there and grill it in and let it soak in for sure.
So like I said, we smoked these and then they sat in the refrigerator overnight. What that does is it kind of lets, you know, it's already really tender and everything's wanting to fall apart. It lets the meat kind of come back together and rest like you do with a steak.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to give them a turn. Base the other side.
Man, they smell amazing.
Yeah. And all we're doing is warming them up. And getting some caramelization on them. They're cooked. They're done. Boy, you're a pit master.
I don't know about all that.
I tell you what, I can hire you over at Memphis Barbecue.
I am a pure amateur at this, but we're going to make it happen.
When he's done selling real estate, he can go cook in the barbecue pit.
There you go.
And then we're going to take a little bit of the dry rub seasoning.
Sprinkle a little bit on top.
Yep, yeah, a little bit more seasoning. All right.
I feel like they're going to be off the charts.
So we're going to let these cook for just a minute, y'all, and we'll be right back. I'll show y'all the finished product, and then we're going to eat.
Salute, brother. Salute. Let's try these out.
How we do?
Those are awesome, man. I love it. Yeah. It's super good. I'm going to take another bite, but I don't want you to start asking me questions with my mouth full, Adam.
Go ahead and get that bite in. All right. Adam Stanford, My Home Realty. Donnie Merrow, EXP. Come and see us again. Please like and subscribe. And I'll have more videos coming up at the end of the month.